Now 152, built by Keith. This is the final series of my trip and odyssey throughout the United States and overseas on my true mission of life. December 31st, 2014. I'm on my way to Jerusalem and the Vatican for very clear and serious purposes of helping the churches hold every state government personally accountable for ethics and to remove corruption and greed from their own societies. Very simple, because it's all right there on solutiongovernment.com, solutionurl.com, URL ident, solution bank fraud, solution safe water, and a whole other series of very comprehensive solutions that are not creative ideas. And yes, they'll be put into production and process in the next couple of months, possibly years. If this doesn't occur, it's very obvious what will happen. We will continue to have major corruption, civil wars, nuclear war, many other wars, all based on predatory greed. With their cubs and pups, rather. These are part of God's natural resources and assets that are on loan to the planet Earth and the humanity. How much clearer can that be? And until we start taking care of families and communities at an individual level, well, when that happens, we're self-sufficient and we come under one world government, which means we really don't need a government because everyone takes care of their own problems and issues. That'll be one small U.S. military force, actually international United Nations force, that all they have to do is monitor for corruption at the community, state, and even national level if they don't take care of issues themselves. How much cleaner can that be? And of course, this is all fulfillment of prophecies from any denomination. Doesn't matter whether you're agnostic or atheist. It all makes common, legal, financial, and spiritual sense. For indeed, that alone is comprehensive because I represent all people on behalf of God's spiritual ownership, legal, civil, and financial rights. That alone is inclusive also. For indeed, inclusion is what this is. That's what Solution URL is. Simply read it, and now they'll understand why I was kidnapped and put into hell, jail, for 848 days, and why I've yet to ever have a single law enforcement agent or agency simply contact me back on one of the worst terrorist conspiracy cover-ups in world history. Why waste words? Because the evidence is right there. I've spent thousands of hours not only fighting this devil named Robert D. Rose, which is where is Robert Rose, takes you straight to followkeith.com, which he used to cyber stalk me, because all the evidence is sitting in Norfolk, Virginia. And yes, we will eventually shut down Washington, D.C. The Capitol Hill and the White House will be turned into an extension of the Smithsonian Institute. We'll even turn into a rest home for those politicians that want to reside there permanently. And we'll set up a brand new governmental campus that's called NewZion2.com, which will be run by ethical consultants that we pay to represent our civil and legal rights. Welcome to Keith's Universal Show, for indeed I represent God's best interests. December 31st, 2014. Here's a series of judges right there, particularly Judge Florner, right over here, guilty of conspiracy, right there. Watson White, even Judge Ingram is guilty. I took this photograph when I went back to Cobb County Courthouse to retrieve the documents from Barry Vic Reynolds. And of course he verbally accosted me, threatened to beat me to a pulp. Well, that's his problem, not mine. So this is very clear and key on what's been going on. The corruption is real, and why the FBI has a responsibility to go into each and every county using the court documents and their signatures to arrest and convict them of conspiracy and willful obstruction of justice. This includes one of the judges in Atlanta. It includes one in Henderson Henderson County, Nevada, includes particularly Judge Jackson in Norfolk, Virginia, for he was fully aware that I not only did nothing wrong, that I had constantly been going back to the FBI, the IRS, Attorney General, U.S. Marshals, and even the U.S. military, and I've been leveraging all of my congressmen at the same time and going to Associated Press, the churches, and the public. There's really no one else left, so clearly no one can explain the current process of why I was in hell for 848 days. The logical choice is right there. It's a financial situation and a criminal landmark miscarriage of injustice by Robert D. Rose. He's the only person who could be on the outside and be paying off all these people. It's called a clear collar perfect crime series, and he's been doing this professionally for 15 years. I even called the FBI again today in Atlanta to discuss these severe facts and that they have a responsibility to protect my civil rights. They can go find a federal judge. They can go sign all these arrest warrants and convictions, including convicting some of my own family members for willful obstruction of justice and destruction of Rose and Bashama's evidence. If anyone had ever done their single job, this would not have ever happened, and it would have been solved immediately. Therefore, on the other side, what I've done is provide an entire sequential set of solutions that will be endorsed by every government. It's called bypass laws because it bypasses the loopholes, and then we'll proceed in coming back into community of faith with grace under God's rule, which is really what this is truly all about. Except this time, God's not going to intervene. He's asking all of the world to solve their own problem. Be glad to tell you that biblical story in Scripture directly to your face. Where are my stadiums full of people? Where are the people that have joined Unocracy? Because it is a growing movement, despite what these criminals want to have happen. That happens to be Solution Peace, Solution Defense, Solution Gun Control, Solution Safe Water, all using the process called solutionfinal.com. So welcome to this short broadcast. This is from now I travel the world a free man on Bid on Keith, teaching everyone how to love and care for each other. How much simpler can that be? Actually, right now we're watching the sunset. We'll see if we can get a little better view here. There it goes. Sunset's going down right now. Sorry about the delay there. I didn't have it set up right. There we go. We're doing a broadcast here on New Year's Day. So this is the end of the year. And we'll do a little broadcast here. Slip over into the there. So there goes the sun. We now have year 2015 starting in about 7 hours. It's about 5:30 right now. There's actually quite a few gray wells that we're passing today. So this is obviously clearly God's world that we live in, and when you start taking care of it at the family and community level, we have very little need for government at all. That's very clear to see. This is the end result of what I've been working on. So the year 2014, I've yet to have any income for the last 7 years because I've been working on solving problems for humanity. And now I'll pull in between $2 and $3 billion the next 6 months to 2 years, easy, but I really don't want the money. I just really need the $20 million to live on in a trust fund, which is why I set up the holding company a couple of weeks ago. So there it goes. We're out of end of the 2014 daylight. Welcome to God's Universal Show. Free my people with all the solutions provided by CreatorKeith.com, the true man of God. Everyone call this number and demand they finally take action to resolve this #1 conspiracy.